denominators and find your common denominator. What is the common denominator of 9, 6, and 13? That would be the least common factor, the greatest common factor, not the common denominator. It's one first multiple of 3, 6, and 9 that they all have in common. If you want to do it the easy way, not have to do the prime factorization and find the common factor, use all the factors that you have. Take the biggest number. If the other numbers don't go into it evenly, double the biggest number. Check to see if they all go into it evenly. Okay? So yeah, when you get to 18, you know it works. Now, technically you are multiplying both sides by 18. But on this side, because there's two terms, you're really distributing it. And because most people like to actually do their canceling, go ahead and put in 18 with each of the terms. That will allow you to actually show your canceling. And what you should end up with is all work with loss. That means the denominator is gone. So your equation is now US plus 1 times 3 is 3 equals 2 times 6 is 12. This would be an algebra 1 equation now. If the x by itself and you're done, subtract 3 and divide by 2. And I'm going to put 9 halves if you prefer to 4.5 or 4.5. So some of your equations are going to have one solution. This one is an inequality. The only thing you have to remember with inequality is if you choose to multiply or divide by a negative, you have to split the inequality. So common denominator of 8, 6, and 3. Common denominator of 8, 6, and 3. 4. So once again, technically you're multiplying both sides by 24. But if you want to actually show your canceling, you can go with this one also. And that way you can cancel. Cancel. Now, when you rewrite this one, because your numerators and two of them are binomial, you need parentheses. So I'm not going to do any simplifying, I'm just rewriting 3 times x minus 2 is less than 4 times 3x plus 1 plus 1 times 8 is 8. Then you want to distribute at like terms. Make sure that there is only an x to the first in the problem, and if there's an x squared, you have to solve it in a different way. So distribute, choose to have. Before you start moving things, add your like terms. Decide whether you want the x's on the left or the right. I think I want them on the right side, so I'm going to subtract 3x. That gives me negative 6 is less than 9x plus 12. Then I'm going to subtract 12. Negative 18 is less than 9x. Then I'm divided by 9. So that means I have x is greater than negative 2. I usually write the x first. I don't care if you rewrite it or not. That's up to you. Just keep in mind that if you had decided to put all your x's on this side, what would you have done instead of subtracting 3x? You put all the x's on the left instead of the right at this point. You would subtract 3x, what would you subtract? 12x. And that would make your coefficients on your x a negative. So that means at some point you would have divided both sides by negative 9 and you happen to be inequality. That's why I actually put everything on the right side so I didn't have to worry about that. Okay? So that's your final answer. Remember, your answer was not negative 2 if x is greater than negative 2. What's the denominator on my zero? 1. So if you have a problem that doesn't show a denominator, stick it there. Common denominator of 9 and 10. 1 quadratic, right? So we need 0 on one side, and we are going to factor. You can't factor this because some of the problems you're going to find that the coefficients on their terms aren't going to be 1, so there's going to be a number of combinations. You should do the big factor as far as you can. You want to do that on this one? Because you're going to have 10 and 1, 5 and 2, you just get where they're at. You have 9 and 1, 3 and 3. So yeah, let's do it. So what's my A? A. B is negative 9. So AB is negative 90. I need two factors of negative 90 that have a sum of 9. What was 90? 5 and 5, 1. 18. You get going evenly? 15, so you find the answer. Okay, so we're going to go 6 and 15. We want your sum to be positive 9, so which one's negative? The 6 is negative. Okay. Let's do the 15 first. 5, 1, 3, 7. So going up, this has to be 2, and this must be negative 3, right? So your answer once again is your diagonal. So when we have it in factored form, we would have 2x plus 3 and 5x minus 3. Check. Once you get it written, make sure it works. First is your 10x squared, outer negative 6x, inner positive 15x, so you add them together, you get 9x, last negative 9. So what are my two solutions here? Fractional. Are you sure positive 3 has a negative 3? It's the opposite. Yeah. Negative 3 has and positive 3. Remember, if you set each of those equal to 0 and you solve for x, for example, the first one, 2x plus 3 equals 0, you would subtract 3. Then you would divide by 2. So that's the best one. Okay? So to get a quadratic equation, you're going to have to factor and solve. You have to use it 0 on one side, otherwise, if you waste your time factoring, you don't have to do all of that. Okay? Take that one, so that's 1, 6, and wrong. Common denominator of 4, 10, and 5. Sometimes those are so here I cancel, here I cancel, here I cancel. So we have 5y times 2y minus 1 plus 2 times 3, go ahead and multiply it, equals 4y times y plus 2. So we are now distributing 10y squared. Here you get minus 5y plus 6. Distributing here, 4y squared plus 8y. Is this going to be quadratic? Look at the squares. They're going to cancel out. You get all the y squares together. And you're going to have y squares in the problem when they cancel out. You can't cancel them out. That means we need everything on one side. That's why I'm asking. So we want to subtract the 4y squared and subtract the 8y. Here, here, that would be 6y squared minus 13y plus 8 equals 0. Is that brilliant? So what day? B? AB. 2 factors of 36 whose sum is negative 13. Factors of 36 whose sum is negative 13. That would give me negative 30. That's how my work. 9 and 4. That gives me a positive 13. That would give me, like if I went negative 9 positive 4, that would give me a negative 5. I'm thinking that's negative 16. That would not give me a positive 36. You're almost there. Negative 9 and negative 4. They both have to be negative. Right? When you multiply the negative, you get a positive 36. If you add those, you get a negative 13. So, we're not using 4 and 1, right? And that's 2 and 2? 2 and negative 2? So what's this? 3? So that means 3y minus 2 and 2y minus minus 3. We did know that we needed the same sign, so minuses, right? Okay. Double check it. First, 6y squared. Outer, negative 9y. Inner, negative 4y. That gives you negative 13y. And last, positive 6. So what are my two solutions? Two fractional solutions. Right. And actually think of an option, right? Okay. Your assignment is 2 to 24 even. And you guys can work together on me. 2 to 24 even. Remember, there are a couple of examples in the book. Here's like 4. Okay.